Super Typhoon Matmo wreaks havoc, sinking ships and devastating China's south. Guangdong, China, October 5, 2025. A monstrous typhoon Matmo, with ferocious gusts soaring to level 15, crashed into Hainan and Guangdong, unleashing chaos as a red alert echoed through southern China. Torrential rains and savage winds battered the region, transforming vibrant coasts into scenes of apocalyptic destruction. By midday on October 5th, Matmo, the 21st tempest to strike China this year, roared ashore between Wuchuan in Guangdong and Wenchang in Hainan. Its winds shrieked like 1,000 clashing swords, while the South China Sea churned, its colossal waves threatening to devour the horizon. Towering surges, as tall as 4-story buildings, pummeled the coastline relentlessly, sending terror rippling through seaside towns. From dawn, Guangdong's alert station screamed red, the highest warning. Gusts tore through at 190 kilometers per hour, and rains fell so fiercely they turned coastal cities into a vast, watery abyss. Tens of thousands in Yangjiang, Zhejiang, Maoming, and across Hainan Island were forced to flee their homes in a desperate race against time. Ferries and flights ground to a halt. Thousands of tourists were trapped in seaside hotels, watching helplessly as streets became desolate rivers of wind and water. In Haikou, Hainan's capital, social media exploded with chilling footage. Palm trees bent to breaking, signboards ripped apart, and cars shoved across streets by the storm's wrath. A local's live stream captured the terror. It's like a freight train roaring past. The glass doors are trembling, and a massive billboard just flew by, nearly smashing my home. The storm struck during China's National Day holiday, a time when millions travel, now stranded in chaos. Flights from Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and Sanya were scrapped. Haikou Airport became a sea of stranded passengers sleeping on floors, clutching suitcases like lifelines. High-speed rail lines to the south were halted, their tracks deemed too perilous under the storm's relentless assault. Guangdong issued 5 urgent decrees: halt schools, stop work, cease outdoor activities, shut down waterways, and suspend all tourism. Matmo wasn't just a storm, it was nature's unrelenting fury, piling onto a nation already bruised by calamity. Days earlier, catastrophic floods in Guangxi swallowed homes and vehicles, with water levels surging over 3 meters. In Xinjiang, blizzards buried highways, trapping thousands in freezing chaos. In Hainan, a freak drone malfunction sparked a massive forest fire, choking the skies with smoke and flame. Now, Matmo delivered a crushing blow to a weary nation. At an emergency meeting on October 5th, the China Meteorological Administration issued a dire warning. Matmo ranks among the most ferocious storms to hit southern China in a decade. Its path carved through the heart of the South's tourism hub, a densely packed region now at the mercy of 190-kilometer-h gusts. Torrential rains dumped 300 millimeters in mere hours, turning streets into murky lakes where cars bobbed like toys. In Zhejiang, floodwaters lapped at shopping mall steps. In Yangjiang, vibrant streets became desolate, waterlogged wastelands. Police and rescue teams battled without rest. deploying military rubber boats to save those trapped in flooded neighborhoods. On Hainan, winds so fierce they shredded steel bus shelters left dozens of fishing boats stranded, tossed far into the raging sea. Sanya's port became a graveyard of ships, mooring lines strained to snapping, masts shattered, and vessels capsized in the churning waters. A port lockdown banned all ships from sailing for 72 hours. Matmo's wrath plunged millions into darkness. Shenzhen and Zhuhai. Neighborhoods lost power overnight, with social media flooded with haunting images of candlelight and phone flashlights casting eerie shadows as the storm howled outside. Factories and industrial zones shut down, fearing collapsing roofs and power surges. In Guangxi, still reeling from historic floods, Matmo's outer rains triggered new deluges, swelling rivers that had barely begun to recede. In bays, hundreds of homes remained submerged, residents navigating by makeshift boats. Far north, Xinjiang's blizzards paralyzed highways, weaving a tapestry of chaos across China during a holiday meant for celebration. Meteorologists revealed Matmo's terrifying origins. A sudden surge of warm, moist air over the South China Sea transformed it from a tropical depression into a super typhoon in just 24 hours, leaving authorities scrambling. State television broadcast relentless warnings, urging citizens to stay indoors at all costs. On October 5th, reporters, battered by rain and wind, described cinematic devastation, flying signs, uprooted trees, and shattered restaurant boards. "This storm is alive," one reporter shouted, voice nearly lost in the gale. "The ground itself is trembling beneath me." In Guangzhou, though spared the storm's core, hundreds of ancient trees toppled, streets flooded, and metro lines halted. Supermarkets became battlegrounds as panicked crowds fought for supplies, one resident lamenting, "Grabbing instant noodles now feels harder than snagging a Lunar New Year train ticket." Forecasts warned that Matmo would press inland through October 4th, weakening but still drenching the south with prolonged rains. Authorities braced for landslides in mountainous regions and secondary flooding along the Pearl River Basin. Rescue teams scoured isolated Guangxi villages for the missing, where temporary bridges had been swept away, leaving towns cut off except by air. As the rains eased, a grim, ash-gray sky loomed over the wreckage. Streets lay strewn with debris, broken branches, shattered signs, the scars of a night of unrelenting fury. Residents emerged, staring in silence at smashed windows and overturned cars. No words were needed. Super Typhoon, Matmo leaves, ships sunk, and Hainan in ruins. Please watch the new video here.